Hey, what's up, everybody? It's my HR guy here, and today I want to talk to you about a story that broke over the weekend. I believe it was the weekend with Jeff Bezos and the pictures that a news outlet was allegedly going to leak if they didn't get something from him. I know it doesn't seem like an HR topic, but I think it's important to talk about because I think there's a lesson to be learned that can be used in the workplace. The idea of sending nudes in this day and age is not foreign, particularly not to our younger generations. And I think there needs to be a little bit more thought into doing so. So, for example, with me, I've adopted or tried to adopt this way about myself that I think helps my anxiety. And that's when I'm dealing with a situation or having to make a decision, I ask myself, well, what's the worst that can happen? And I play that all the way out, right? And typically, if you get to the end of that, you realize the worst thing that can happen isn't really all that bad. But it does allow me to make decisions on whether or not I actually should go that route or make that particular decision. And I think that should happen, and that should be the thought process when it comes to taking a picture of yourself and sending it to someone. You have to ask yourself, well, what's the worst that can happen? If this gets leaked, if this person for some reason or another decides to share it, how do I feel about that? And am I okay with that? And I think people can take that same mentality to work and specifically dealing with emails. I've seen a lot of people put things in emails that have blown my mind. I say, why would you put that in writing? And a lot of times it helps me out because usually I'm doing an investigation of sorts that allows me to piece things together by reading these emails. But it's amazing to me what people are right with the assumption that there's some anonymity that comes along with sending this electronic communication to someone that they trust. And so I really think people need to think twice about what they're willing to put in email. And again, I'm thinking about the things that I deal with, but I think in general, there's a lot of things that, even if they are meant with the best of intentions, can be interpreted in ways that can show malice and can put your organization in a legal bind. So putting certain things in writing just isn't the way to go. And you have to ask yourself, if this were to be read by someone else, what could their possible interpretation be? And is that something that I'm willing to live with? So again, what's the worst that can happen? Because sometimes, like I said, I think we send these electronic communications out and we just assume that's between me and the person I'm sending it to, when in reality, it's a discoverable document in a legal case at worst. At best, it's something that someone can forward along to someone else, and now you have put something and memorialized something that doesn't necessarily put you in the best of light. And it could be very business related. It can be talking about one of your coworkers or colleagues, talking about your manager. So that mentality that I think goes through, or the thought process that goes through someone's mind when they send out a nude that just says, hey, I'm going to send this out and not put a lot of thought into it, can't be the same way that you approach work. So I think you can be a little bit more, or use a little bit more discretion in what you're sending out with respect to your nudes, if that's what you're doing, in the same fashion that you can use a bit more discretion in what you're putting in your emails and sending to your coworkers and colleagues, with this idea that it might be anonymous or privileged information for some reason. So again, just a little thought. What's the worst that can happen? Am I okay if someone else were to see this? How would I feel? And think twice before you hit send on your emails and on your nudes. Yep. This is what we're talking about now. It's my HR guy. I'll talk to you later.